anybody at home on a Saturday early evening, bored, and you want to join me on my live? Is that anybody? Do you exist? Are you here? Just gonna wait a few minutes to see if anybody wants to join me. I'm at my salon right now because I've been in town and I'm waiting for my son to get back from football. So I figured the best thing to do is to come on here and say hi. So if you're watching, if you actually are going to stay a while, say hi. If you're just popping on to see, what are we talking about? It's nothing. It's bullshit. It's nothing. We're not talking about anything. I have nothing in mind. I just know when hi, Zoe. I just know when I've been on here the last few days, you guys have been really excited. And I've got free time right now, and I don't know how much free time I have. So I figured I'm just at my salon. I actually just cut my facial framing. Do you guys see? I cut my facial framing because my hair has gotten so long. I usually have my hair like to here. It's gotten long. You guys see my roots here? I haven't colored or cut my hair since April. That's the last time that I have done my hair. And I actually did record the service. I was at my salon doing it myself, and I did record the service. So I know it's like a long time ago, but if you guys want to watch it, like I can edit that video and upload it for you guys. Like one of my first ones. I have like a whole bunch of random videos that I've batched for you guys that I just haven't like uploaded yet. So you're soaking your gels? Oh, girl, you are here for a while then. We have plenty of time to chill and talk and bullshit. I'm literally just sitting here. You're soaking your nails off. I just got done trimming my own facial framing. Oh my God, hi, beautiful me. Am I the beautiful in the room? Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God, I need to do this more often. The compliments. Single mom life, I never get compliments. Thank you. I will take them. You better watch out. You might be my next boyfriend if you're not careful. Oh, I don't know. Do you like a big bitch? That's the requirement. So, yeah. So I'm just at the salon. I need to get straight to the point. Let's hear it. What's the point? Yeah. My requirements? Do you love Jesus? I like the video. Let me put... I have a secret. Oh, I am pretty cool. Yeah. So anyways, back to like the main reason why we're here. There actually is no main reason why we're here. I'm just here. So my son is playing. I'm from Mount Vernon, Washington. I don't know if you guys know the area. It's about an hour north of Seattle. If you're from the area, like, come and say hi. Like, I would love to do your hair. Yes, you have a secret and you would like to tell. Please tell it, but make it appropriate because promise to the Lord. Yeah, no creeps allowed. No creeps. Make it appropriate because I will block you so fast. So let's see it. Let's see it. We're all waiting here. Somebody has a secret. Crisco's Country Life has a secret. Okay, you'll chill. I mean, if it's something that's not air it out, dude. Like I'm sitting here waiting. What's the secret? You've got us all on the edge of our seats. What is it? You might think I'm a creep. If you think that I might think that you're a creep, you might be right. I am a woman of the Lord that swears. So keep that in mind. So that being said, talk to me like I'm your grandma. Oh God, what's view message? Oh, okay. I'm going to show, it's not bad, you guys. I'm going to show it. Mr. has a foot fetish. That's as far as we're going here, and we're gonna end that conversation. Yeah. If you got a foot fetish, I'm just letting you know I'm not the girl for you. I hate feet. I hate, like, don't touch my feet, all of that stuff. So that's it. All right, thank you. No worries, but I'm glad it wasn't any worse than that. So anyways, talk to me like I'm your grandma. I don't like any like inappropriate stuff. That will be the end of it. So anyways, my son is at a football game and he's on JV potentially. He's like fourth string for varsity. And so I'm just like waiting here at the salon. I haven't heard from him. So yeah, I thought that I would come to the salon and trim my hair. Raise your hand if you have a hard time doing your own facial framing. I'm not talking to other hairstylists. I'm talking to people that are just like at home and you do your hair sometimes. Like, raise your hand if you have a hard time cutting your own facial framing. I'm not talking about layers all over or even the length of your hair, just the facial framing. Because I just recorded a video trimming my own hair, or not my hair, sorry, just doing my facial framing. That's why my hair is styled. If you guys know me, you know that I don't regularly do my hair, especially in the summertime, it's hot. But yeah, so I just recorded this, I don't want to say service, I just recorded this video. So if you guys want me to, I can upload this. Literally, I could edit it tonight and upload it for you guys in the morning if you guys want to see it. So I figured like the Lord blessed me with my own salon. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. So there's nobody at the salon today, and so I figured like, oh, I'll just come down and see what's going on, and if no one's there, then I'll just like do a video doing my hair. So thankfully nobody was here. So now I did my own little my little facial frames. What other kind of video, like what do you guys want to talk about? What other kind of videos do you want me to do? Like what's on your guys' list of things that you would like to see from my channel? I'm trying to be a little bit more active. If you guys have noticed, this is like my third live in like a week and a day, which is pretty big since I literally have gone months without uploading anything. So anyways, literally nothing to talk about. I just wanted to come over here and see if there was anything that you guys wanted to talk about. Any suggestions that's appropriate for conversation? Anybody? Okay. Do I do redheads? I have a few redheads that I do. I don't have like a regular clientele of like redheads that come in. I do a lot of blonding or like lived in colors or that kind of stuff. The salon that I just opened is called Modern Blonde, and it's like a blonding specialty salon. So that's because that's just kind of what happened with my clientele is I just ended up like I've always been really good at blondes, but other people think that I'm really good at blondes, my clients. So that's kind of what my specialty is. And I figured I would cater a salon towards blondes. Obviously we have other clients that come in and they have like brown hair or red or whatever, but generally the clientele is blondes. So yeah, I do some red. I have a handful of clients that that they just are redheads. So, but it's not like I have a consistent, clientele of people coming in that are wanting to go red. So, you're doing your first redhead tomorrow? Oh my gosh. Is it like virgin hair, or is she like blonde going red, or like what's the story? Do you know? Have you like messaged her and got the deets on like what she's wanting to do for her redhead? Are you nervous? Do you have any concerns? Let's talk about it. If you're still here, what are your thoughts? Are you nervous to do this redhead? Seeing if she has anything to say. about redheads. If anybody that's watching, if you like doing redheads, enter any of your redhead tips in the comments. What are you nervous about? Let's hear it. Also a question, what color line are you using? Dimensional red with highlights. What color line are you going to be using for the red? Let's all send Zoe some good luck. Lord Jesus, pray for Zoe that you bless her hands and her formulating on the service that she has tomorrow, Lord God. I pray that her client is happy and any of her highlights, Lord, do not turn pink and she gets a pretty color with her highlights and her red and they blend together nicely, Lord, and rebuke pink highlights in the name of Jesus. Oh, Agora, that's perfect. I love Agora. Let's see. Zoe says that she is doing, it's mostly virgin hair with a little bit of color on the ends. And she's going to be using Agora Royal. I think that's perfect. I love the Schwarzkopf for reds. I think they have so many color options. I've been doing hair for like 20 plus years or whatever. And so when I first started doing hair, when I was working like corporate jobs, the color lines that we had available to us was Matrix. And Matrix is fine if you know how to use it, but they don't really have, like, they have like four, like the RB series or the copper or red violet, whatever. But I noticed that most of the reds, no matter what red that you use, it turned very purple. And it deposited like two shades darker. It took a few washes for it to like lighten up and be the true tone that you wanted. It took like 2 weeks for it to lighten up and to show the true tone that you wanted. It grabbed so dark and it grabbed very purple. So, yeah, Matrix, hey, y'all need to get it together. Get it together because Agora's got it figured out. Yeah, the reds, they have such pretty coppers, such pretty like red violets or just reds. And another thing that I really like about the Agora is that sometimes if you do a red, it is so easy for it to turn clowny. So, and I've never had a problem with Agora turning clown looking. So that's good. If you look at my hair, I have a lot of like warm, I can't do like bright or white. The more orange my hair looks, the better. I remember one time I was bleaching my hair, I did highlights, and when it was just like the natural lift, it looked really good. But then when I toned it, I looked horrible. I cannot do just like a blonde. So like the more copper and orange my hair, the better. And sometimes I miss being like a copperhead and like super. And when I say super copper, I mean like flaming orange. Like, y'all watch Twilight? That's Victoria. That's the color that I'm talking about. I love my hair that color, but I want to show you something. You see that? You see that? That's gray. So that kind of prevents me from really wanting to do too much to my hair. Even though I don't really have like a whole bunch there, it's mostly like underneath. But look at my hair. I don't color my hair very often. So like, you think I'm really going to be like wanting to have high maintenance red color? No. Let's see. Zoe's doing a cherry cola red. That sounds so good. Your soon sister to be sister-in-law. It's for her wedding. Okay. Look, hey, I know we prayed for it, but Lord, this is for a wedding. So please, Jesus, all your good graces, Lord God. And let me tell you, when I do a color on somebody that I'm kind of worried about, 100% of the time, you will find me in the back praying. I will be praying so hard. Lord Jesus, please help me with this formulation. Lord, I pray that my client is happy with this color. Lord Jesus, please help me mix this color. And then it turns out good. And then it turns out amazing. Yes, all the prayers. A cherry cola red. I think that'll be exciting because it's not like you have to maintain vibrancy and it's okay if it goes a little purpley, darker or whatever. Like, I think that will be really pretty. I'm excited for you, sister. I think that will look gorgeous. I feel like it's the copper reds that kind of are a little bit harder because they have to be more intense, I would say. And then, then you have the roots and then you have the end of the color and then it's trying to make sure you don't have hot roots and that it blends with the rest of the hair, whatever. So yeah, I think doing a cherry cola red, that will look really, really pretty. And I'm excited for you to do it. Yeah. But also another question is, how close are you doing it to the wedding? Is it going to be like the week before, a few weeks before, like how close, the day before? How close are you doing? And also no, she has virgin hair. That's right. Okay. Yeah. I hope that turns out well. I think that'll probably be really great. Are you guys excited that summer's over? Are you guys looking forward to fall? Let me tell you about something that I saw today. I was scrolling, the stupid Instagram ads with like whatever. It was a t-shirt and it had a picture of a cat. Okay, back it up a little bit. Back it up. Okay. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Those like JCPenney 80 photos where you have like the main photo front and center. And then off to the side is just like a little translucent, shadow of a picture of like somebody posing or smiling or something. So if you know what I'm talking, let me know if you know what I'm talking about because I don't want to sound like I'm crazy. But okay, good luck with that color. Zoe's got to go. Thanks for watching and good luck with the color. Okay. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, I saw a t-shirt where it had a cute little kitty with like, it was draped with a cloth as if, like Halloween, like a ghost where you just have the white sheet on you and it has like the holes right there. It was a cute little kitty that had like the sheet draped on it. And then in the corner of it, like the extra picture, Aubrey says that I'm so pretty and thank you so much for the compliment. It has like another picture of the kitty, like just an up close of the face with like the sheet draped on it. And I wanted to get that so bad for fall. I don't know, those Instagram ads. So are you guys like looking forward to fall, Halloween, like fall hair? If you guys are in a salon, are you guys like decorating your guys' salon for fall? Are you guys just leaving it as is? Like, what are you guys gonna do? You guys have any traditions? Like our family tradition that we do is every month, except for in the summertime when we're together pretty regularly anyways. But every month, the very last Friday of every month, we get together and my grandma makes a soup supper. And we have like a big family, just like a casual dinner, but it's like the whole family. That way, like months don't go by in between where you just don't see each other anymore. Anyways, the October month that we all dress up for Halloween and like show up to family dinner in costumes. And I thought that kitty shirt would be super cute to wear to family dinner with like some cute little kitty ears and maybe like, draw some kitty whiskers or something. I think that would be cute. I think that would be fun. I'm not like a big dress up for Halloween type of person though. But yeah. What about you guys? Type away in the comment section. Let's hear it. I need to tell you something really quickly. I'm looking right here and I'm seeing some definition right here. let me tell you what happened. I am 42 years old. This would be the perfect time for anybody that wants to type in the comment section, I would have never guessed that. I would have just never known 42. I was thinking more like 33. That would be the perfect time if you want to type that right now. Anyways, yeah. So last summer and this summer has been the first time, like last summer, immediately as soon as summer hit, I ended up gaining like 10 pounds. And then we have our family dinner or a family week like towards the middle end of July where every single day we're having like a pool party at this cousin's house, lake party at my brother's house, another pool party at this cousin's house. Like we're just getting together every day. And I try not to eat. I usually don't eat through the day because I know that we're going to have like a whole bunch to eat at dinner time. So, and also not drinking enough water. Anyway, so then that week I usually end up gaining like 10 pounds or something. So and then I end up like not losing it because it's hot and I'm like retaining water. So this past summer I gained 20 pounds. And then last summer also I gained 20 pounds. But so far since September 1st, I'm down like 15 pounds. And I can tell that I'm like not holding on to, I'm like not retaining water as much. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Is there anybody else here like hitting 40 and noticing like a change in their body? Like, I just can't deal with this. Also, like gluten. Is anybody here gluten intolerant? I'm not necessarily gluten-free, but I can just tell a difference now the older that I get, where it's like, man, have a piece of pizza and my left knee starts like tweaking. Like it starts hurting really bad. So I'm just noticing some changes that I need to make, which then it makes it really hard, like being a hairstylist, because I'm like, oh, my body's so stiff. And my legs hurt so bad, my back. And I'm like, but is it really doing hair that's bothering me? Or is it that I'm putting shit in my body that I shouldn't be eating, like gluten? I don't know. Do you guys notice a difference? Like, does that stuff bother you? Like, I'm just, the older I get, I cannot be eating stuff like that. It just hurts and affects my body so bad. And then every day when I would come home from work, especially if I would do multiple colors through the day, my back and like shoulders and hips would just hurt so bad. Oh, I have a question for you. If you guys if you're watching, please leave a comment in the section below. I need help really bad. So if you're not caught up to date, I just opened my own salon. Thank you, Jesus, for this blessing. November will be a year. I still don't have floor mats. And I think the reason why it's so hard for me to finally like make this purchase, for one, they're getting expensive. They're, probably for a decent one is like at least $300 a piece. So I'm going to show you. I have 3 stations and I have a round base. I don't have any mats. And I'm afraid to order something and then it's like, it's not very good or it doesn't do anything and then I can't return it, or I'm not going to return it because then it's going to be really expensive. So do you guys have any recommendations for floor mats? Do you guys have any that you like? Because I don't know. The only way that I can tell if I like a floor mat is if I'm like walking on somebody's floor. Like I was at my friend's salon the other day and I was just walking by and they had like 2 different floor mats. The first one that I stepped on was not that great, but then when I stepped onto the second one, it was like so cushy. Oh my gosh, I was like, I had to like go back and like step on it again. I was like, what is this floor mat? It was like gelish. It was thick. It just felt really good to stand on. Kira asked, do I have Facebook or Marketplace? It's great to find things like that. Yeah, I do have Facebook Marketplace, but the problem is, I guess I could tell somebody like, hey, can I come check this out before I purchase it? But I could do that. But then I'm also like OCD where I would want everything to match. So then like, do they have 3 of them? Or I guess if they just have one, if I knew what brand it was, then I could order the other 2 maybe. Okay, so that's a good idea. I could look into that a little bit more. But yeah, I want, pardon me, I want some floor mats that are thick and jelly. I don't want a floor mat that's just thin and hard. So that's what I'm thinking. I want something that has a little bit more like cush to it. I don't know. Do you have a Facebook Marketplace is a good recommendation to go check out, but do you have one? Does anybody have anyone in Salon that you just know that is perfect? Because I would like to get some. I would like to get some floor mats. Another thing that I need, we're just going to talk about all the stuff that I need in my salon that I haven't purchased yet. Another thing is, do you see this? Can I zoom? I can zoom! Okay, do you guys see this back shampoo area here? This used to have a shelf here that we took down, and so that's why that white strip is there. But the shampoo area is not very big, and so I need to get something that I can put here, and well, not here because there's the garbage can, I guess, but I need to find something that I can either put here or have something that I can install like back here in this area. I need some like shelving units because I can't just have, like, this whole area is just so ugly. So I'm trying to like figure that out. Let's see. Kira says, find salon owners that are closing their salons and are retiring. So the salon that I was at, the salon that I'm at now, this location, it was actually an older lady that she closed down her salon. And so I was able to get in here and everything is mine. The only thing that I got from her is the stacked washer and dryer and the shampoo bowl and like that whole system that's back there. So everything else I brought in, that's the only thing that was here. And I didn't like the stuff that she had as far as floor mats, but there was a salon in the area that did close down and they sold a whole bunch of stuff. And I just didn't have any extra. That's a good idea. I just didn't have any extra money at that time. I'm in a really small area. I'm in Mount Vernon, Washington, which is about an hour north of Seattle. And there's a lot of salons here, but they're all really like successful and have young stylist owners. I don't know. When that one salon shut down, it was a shock because it's been here for literally like 30 plus years or something. But yeah, that would have been a good idea to like go check out that place. I just did not have any money at that time. So not that I have a lot of money now. I just know that I need to get something because my legs just kill me by the end of the day. So anyways, do you guys like these lives or do you feel like they're kind of, do you think they're stupid? I'm just wondering because like when I come on and I do a live, I don't have like, cool, this is what we're going to talk about, this, and this. Or it's never interactive as far as like including somebody else in the conversation or anything. I did do a live last week where I talked about maybe every Monday going onto my Instagram and doing a poll where you guys can suggest if there's something that you guys want to talk about. You guys can add a suggestion and then everybody can vote on it. And then towards the end of the week, we'll see what you guys wanted to chat about and then come on here and have that specific topic. So that way it's more focused. Whether it's like formulating, consultations, how to deal with clients, pricing, social media, like whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. And also I have ADD. So like my mind is like, I could be talking about like, oh, and then that's right. And then this. So I could be like a total scatterbrain, like crackhead half the time. So do you guys like lives? Or do you like them when they're just kind of more like go with the flow and talk about whatever comes to mind, which could be 500 things? Or do you like it to be a little bit more focused on a specific topic? Kira says she loves the lives and all of my videos. Thank you. And she learns a lot, especially with formulas. And she would love to know how you know what the tones are with the vibrance. Would love to know how you know what the tones are with the vibrance. Elaborate a little bit more, please. What do you mean? What tones are with the vibrance? By the way, as she's finishing typing her question, or you heard it's European. I think so, but I'm still not quite sure like what you're asking. I don't use Agora Vibrance for everyone. And also let me say this, if I do use Agora Vibrance, it's an upcharge. For my blondes, I usually use Paul Mitchell, the Demi, and that's just really easy. It's super liquidy, so it's really easy to like get into the hair and massage it in and spread it evenly throughout the hair. And it only takes like 7 minutes to like put on. Maybe a little bit longer if you're thorough like me. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes before I'm like done playing with it. But Agora Vibrance, I mean, that could take, the whole toning process could take a whole hour. So yeah, I would do an upcharge if you ever use Agora Vibrance. I mean, I don't know what do you guys charge for toners anyways? Glossing? If I'm just using Paul Mitchell, I'll usually just charge maybe like $30 for the toner. And then, pardon me. But if I'm using Agora, sometimes 50, 60 plus for the gloss. But now my pricing structure is different to where I just include everything and I don't even like price for it anymore. It's just all rolled into the overall price of the service. It's like it's numbers instead of letters. Okay, yeah, 5-1 instead of using 5-ash. Yeah. So do you have a hard time like figuring out like what's the word that I'm using? Are you having a hard time figuring out like, okay, if I'm using, 5-3 versus 5G or something? And do you have a book? Do you have like you know how they all have like a swatch book? You should have do you feel like that helps? Or do you feel like that still makes it hard for you to figure out what to use? I feel like if you just know, like, okay, you need to get a swatch book for whatever it is that you're trying to, what brand you're using. Sorry. If you get a swatch book, that would help. Or just go online and just search Google, Agora Vibrance number system. And then that should list, like, is it ash, cinder, gold, red, and then just write it down. If you don't have a whole swatch book, just go on Google and then write it down and then keep it somewhere in the back where you can always refer back to it if you need to. Because yeah, that is hard. Like, I pretty much know the numbers now because I just have like certain tones that I stick with. But if there's something that I'm like, what is this? I'll just like type like 95-46 or whatever. Like sometimes I'm like, what on earth is that? So just go and like type it into Google and then it will pop up and show you what the toner is, what the actual swatch looks like. And that helps and that makes it a lot easier. Cause yeah, by the way, if you guys use Agora Vibrance, be so cautious of like if you're using like the 2-4 series. Holy cow. There has been a few times where I've used 724 as a root shadow and mother, you know what? That thing turned so green. It has so much green pigment to it. I mean, thank the Lord that I caught it early enough that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to start washing this out. Or go take my formulation to the back and like reformulate and add some more warmth to it or whatever. But man, some of those, that is just one thing that I love about Agora Vibrance. It can either be a blessing or a curse, depends on what, however you use it. But like, I will say, if you guys haven't used Schwarzkopf Agora Vibrance, I have a lot of clients, like I have a lot of Spanish clients that come in that have like super dark hair. I mean, you guys know, we're talking like level 2, 1, 2, 3. We're talking dark hair and then also very thick, coarse hair. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you'll see that I can get their hair really light, assuming that it's virgin hair. But I cannot tone their hair with like Paul Mitchell, the Demi, because it's too thin of, it's too translucent of a toner. So like say that I'm just toning some, like a, basic white girl, whatever, that has like level 6, 7 hair. And so we do a blonde and we're able to get to a really pretty bright blonde. You don't ever want to overtone the hair. And they want to stay a little bit brighter. So using the Paul Mitchell, the Demi is a really great toner line to use for that because it's not such a heavy toner to where it's going to completely like overtake the brightness of the hair. It still leaves the hair nice and bright. If somebody likes to have like a really bright, cool blonde, I really love using like 10V with a little bit of 9PA and then throwing in like a few drops of gold into the toner just to like make sure it doesn't over process. But chances are that sometimes when you're lifting the hair for a really pretty blonde, normally you're not going to get like a perfect 10 lift everywhere. So if you add in that, like just maybe like a quarter of your formulation, like a level 9, it's going to make sure that it tones any of those level 9s out. But because you have that 10 in there, it's still going to be nice and bright. You're just going to eliminate any potential like brassy warm areas there are with adding that level 9 in there. And then because you're also adding a little bit of gold into the formulation, like when I tell you a few drops, truly, I mean like just a few little drops. That's going to prevent it from overtoning. And also make sure when you're toning for blonde that you take a section right in here. You pull all of this to the front because all of this hair here grabs really fast. So you don't want to over process these fine little pieces of hair. Pull all of this to the front around the whole hairline and tone all of this stuff. Let this process for about 7 minutes. If you're doing like 10 minutes or whatever, and then you can start rubbing this in literally just for the last like 2 minutes of the processing time. then you can start incorporating this because that will grab really fast. Learn from my mistakes. There have been times where your client's laying back in the shampoo bowl and you just go in there and just start like putting the toner on right here and then start blending it in and start getting full coverage on all your hair. And then it's processing and you're like, that literally looks violet or whatever. And then you're trying to rinse it out really quickly, whatever. So just before you even put the toner on, section around the whole hairline, section that out, and then apply that the very last like 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, and then it will tone, but it's not going to grab so much that it like over processes. So yes, so Paul Mitchell the Demi is great if somebody has like a lot lighter of a natural color, or if they have dark hair and they don't mind having warmth in their hair or whatever. But I don't use Paul Mitchell at all if I have a client that comes in with darker hair naturally, because it's just too translucent to counteract and tone down any of the warmth in the hair. Another thing that I like using Paul Mitchell for is I ask my clients a lot. Obviously, a lot of people like having like a root shadow and blending the roots in or whatever, but there's a really big difference between, do you want to do a root shadow and be able to see through to the highlights a little bit so that it looks a little translucent, you're like blending the highlights in, or do you want to do a root shadow where you like cannot see the highlights anymore and you're truly darkening the crown of your head? Actually, that would be a really good video to do a mannequin and like do just like half the head, do a foil, do this half of the head with Paul Mitchell the Demi, and this half of the head with Schwarzkopf Agora Vibrance, and see the difference between how the root shadows blend. Because one of them, they're both great, but for different purposes, because one will have a little bit more fuller coverage than the other. Crack the base. I personally don't like that. I think that's great for other people if they want to do that and if they like that for their clients, but truly like that looks good, but then clients end up feeling like, why are my roots warm? That's personally not for me. I don't really like that. A lot of my clients don't like warmth. I think a lot of people come to me because I can get a really pretty bright blonde and have it be really cool or cancel out any warmth if they want a cool blonde. I don't have a lot of clients that are like, I like a lot of warmth. Like breaking the base is great if somebody wants warmth in their hair, but a lot of my clients don't. And then another problem too is that if you're breaking the base, eventually as that tone fades out, they're just going to be left with like the natural shift of their hair, which usually tends to be too warm. And then now they have like, if you're breaking the whole base, then they have a whole like line of demarcation, from like their natural grow out. So if breaking the base works for you, then that's great. But I just personally don't like it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. Maybe I'm just like not doing it right. I don't know, but that's just my take on it. So, okay, so we already talked about Paul Mitchell the Demi and why I like it and what I don't think it's good for. Another thing, okay, so let's go to Agora Vibrance. Ma'am, okay, I love Agora Vibrance for those dark-haired clients that don't want any warmth in their hair and they want to can't do a root shadow and they don't want to see any warmth at all. Or maybe they have dark hair and they want to go really blonde, but they don't want to see any warmth at all. Agora Vibrance is perfect for toning out any warmth in clients that are like level 2. I can get a client that is a level 2 and we will have a nice, bright, cool blonde with zero warmth in the hair. And it's because Agora Vibrance is amazing. It has great coverage. And it eliminates all the brass in the world. If you guys haven't used it and you have like clients that have dark hair, I promise you, please use it. You will be so happy with it. My thoughts on using High Lift, I don't have thoughts because I don't use it. I don't like High Lift. Again, I'm probably not using it right, or maybe I don't have the clients for it. I've seen people that maybe have a client that has like level 7 or 8 hair and they put a High Lift on it and then it turns out beautiful. But I think I'm scarred from it because what developer? Developer for what? I might be scarred from using High Lift because let me tell you a horror story, okay? I had just done, Agora, it just has a processing, does it have it has a processing gel liquid, or you can get 13 volume. Yeah. Okay, so this is why I don't like High Lift. I had just done a color class. What? I don't even remember what color line it was. It was a high-end color line, whatever. Anyways, the lady there, she was telling us like, oh, and use a High Lift for this client or this type of person. Instead of using bleach, you can use a High Lift, whatever. I had a client coming in who was we're all particular bitches about our hair, right? Okay, like we all want our hair a certain way. I shouldn't be like, she's particular about her hair. We all are. However, her hair was extremely thick and down to her butt. She had extremely thick, long, dark hair. And this was back in like 2010, 11 era. So, you know, foils straight to the scalp where it's like streak, whatever. So she always did a full foil. And the lady told me, instead of using bleach, use a High Lift on her hair. And I was like, I don't think that I should do that. She likes her blonde. She likes it to be blonde. She doesn't want it to be like a caramel tone. She wants her highlights to be bright blonde. And she's like, oh yeah, it will be. Just use like a higher developer. And I was like, I think that I should use bleach. But because I was at a commission salon and the owner was there, and I know they were looking at me like, you better use that High Lift. You better use that High Lift. So I was like, oh my gosh. I knew it wasn't going to, and I just did it because like the owner's sitting there telling me what I needed to do. They wanted to like, I don't know, make the educator happy. So yeah. I ended up doing this huge full foil on this gal with hair down to her butt. And I had her process for probably 2 hours because I kept being like, oh my God, it's not lifting. It's stuck at a level 8. Sure enough, eventually we had to wash her hair. And her whole head of roots from where we did the foil was literally, it was probably this color. Now, there is a difference between this and bright blonde. Oh, she was pissed. And I was pissed. I was like panicky because I knew that was going to happen. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, what? I'm like, your hair, like exactly what I was worried about happened. She's like, why did you do it then? I'm like, I didn't have an option. Like the owners were basically telling me that's what I needed to do. So then I had to like literally wash her hair and then go through and refoil the whole thing. I had to refoil her whole. That was the last time that I did her hair, which sucks because I had been doing her hair for a long time. And like normally it always turned out good. She was always happy with her hair. But just because this one time that person wanted me to use High Lift, do not go against your own better judgment. And her hair was naturally like a level 4. I knew it was not going to be super blonde. If you are new in the hair industry, sometimes we think, I'm new in the hair industry. That person probably knows better than me. No, they don't. Maybe they do, But if you know in your hairstylist soul what you need to do, don't let somebody else talk you out of it just because you think you should listen because they're the owner, because they're the educator, because they're the whatever. Like, if you just know, then don't go against what you're feeling, because I literally lost a really good client. And then I ended up having to be there for another 4 hours to like blow dry your hair and then refoil the whole damn thing. So do not go against what you think should be best for you. Yeah. Thank you. You have only one high lift client. Man, I hope you do well with it. That is not for me. Give me the bleach. Give me the bleach. Give me the bleach with 20 volume. I'm not doing 30 volume or 40 volume. I talk about this a lot. The reason why you don't want to do 30 or 40 volume, I don't want to call anybody out. I have some friends and they do hair. They've been doing hair for a long time, and it is not my place. If you do what you do because it clearly works for you, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, okay? But I will see people that are like getting ready for a whole foil that they have to do, and they will mix for, because you have like the 4 quadrants that you're gonna like mix for ahead of time, and they will mix 10, 20, 30, 40 volume for all the different quadrants of hair. Well, I'm going to start with 10 volume because that's the first one, and then it'll have time to sit. And then by the time I get to this quadrant, I'm going to have my 40 volume, and then it will like speed up and catch up with the rest of it. No, that might be how it works if you're mixing that bowl of bleach for that specific quadrant right when you get there. But if you're walking out with 4 bowls of bleach, imagine you have like, if you're a slow foiler like I am, look, I'm meticulous. I take really, I'm annoying. It's just the way that I am. It's going to take me about 2 hours to get this whole back section done before I even get to this top and even to the last section. So imagine that you have all this bleach that's just been sitting out here for probably 2 hours, and you have 40 volume. Now, what in God's green earth do you honestly think that 40 volume bleach is actually going to do? Nothing. The lifting power is gone. Here's the way that bleach, that developer works. 10 and 20 volume, they are a slow lift, but they are a consistent lift. So it's just going to be like, the whole way. Just a nice, slow, consistent crawl to the finish line. If you use 30 and 40 volume especially, it's going to just like take off and then level out and then be really slow. And you're going to be like, why is this not lightning anymore? It's because it's on that end of the lifting power. The only time that I use 30 or 40 volume is if I'm working with a client that has like level 1 or 2 naturally very dark hair, and we're doing some foils, and sometimes the client will be stuck at a level 8 and you're trying to use a blow dry on them and hurry up and get it to process and all these things, and it's just stuck there. And it's usually just like 1 or 2 foils. It's not like the whole thing. It's usually just the foils that are exposed on the very top that doesn't have the heat, the insulation from the heat from the scalp that's hitting it. Because all these foils have so many other foils and hair like piled on top of it. It heats up a lot, so it can process a lot more. These top foils don't have anything falling on top of it, so then it like doesn't have the heat, to trap in to make it lift a lot more. So it's usually just like maybe 3 to 5 foils that are just stuck at that bastard yellow. So that's the only time that I will go and mix a bowl of 30 volume just to hit those roots, because I know within 5 minutes it's going to blast beyond that yellow and it's going to give me that nice bright blonde again. That is the only time that I will ever use 30 volume, and it's just what I need to push me past that stuck at level 7 or 8. If you have clients that are, sorry, I was reading the comments. If you have if your clients are always stuck or complaining that like, I can never get past level 7 or 8, chances are you're using too high of a developer. Chances are your foil sections are too thick. And chances are you're not doing, like, you're not letting it sit long enough. You're not letting it sit long enough. You're using too high of a developer, so then the power dies out. And then 3, you're not letting it sit long enough. Let me tell you, I sometimes will do a huge foil and it might take me 3 hours to foil that whole head. And I will let that client sit for 2 hours and process. And I do not take a client in between while that client's processing. I don't take a client in between because I have anxiety. Okay, that's the main reason. But because I don't know how long she's really going to process for. Is she going to I mean, I might be okay, let me do a haircut really quickly or something like that, which I don't do, but I could see that happening because I know she's going to process for at least an hour. But I'm constantly going back to my client and checking her foils. Do I need to pull these foils out? Do I got to run any bleach through the ends? Do I need to reapply bleach anywhere? So I do not ever take any clients while my clients are processing. I'm too anxious for that. We're not doing all that. But it helps me be able to reapply and do all the things that I need so that my clients can get a better lift. And I have had times, and this blows my mind, when I'm going back through my clients and I'm checking their foils and they're like, what are you doing? Or I'll come back through with a bowl of bleach and they're like, what? Why are you doing this? I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you going through my foils and adding more bleach? Why wouldn't I? They're like, well, my other hairstylist just lets it sit for like an hour and then they pull the foils out. That's why you're stuck at caramel tones. That's why you're stuck at a brassy level 7 or 8, because you guys need to stop rushing your services and let that client sit there for as long as it needs to. It will lighten up. I promise you. If they have virgin hair, if they don't have black color on their hair, if they truly are a client that has virgin hair, that's what I'm talking about. You can easily get a client from level 1 to level 9, 10 in one sitting safely. You just have to do it the right way. Do I have any tips for people who want a balayage and have a side part? Girl, look at me. How big of a side part? Are we talking about like over here on the side of their head, or just a little bit off center, or what are like, how far of a side part are you thinking? Do you know one way that arch of... Yeah, I would, you had a client the other day and she had a hard... And you had a client the other day and had a hard time with it because her part was so far over to the side. So if I had a client that she wanted to... Let me tell you though, I don't do a standard... Are you doing an actual balayage on a client? Or are you doing like a foliage? Because one thing you won't see me doing is painting bleach on somebody's head. Because my clients generally like, okay, in a foil, they don't like a lot of warmth. And balayage creates a lot of warmth normally. In a foil, if I had a client that had... Okay, hold on. I'm gonna set you down. Okay. Say you have a client that parts her hair really far on the side like this. I would do this. I would take my foil comb and go like this. tangles. Go through and do like a little like zigzag section. It's kind of hard to do it on myself. That way you're kind of messing up the line. Can you kind of see that it's kind of a little bit of a zigzag? Go through and just, depending on, do they want like fine weaves? Go through and do like a fine weave, or depending on, you know, if they want it more blended or if they want it chunkier. If they want it to be like a chunky where they have more defined, see how I have like defined piece, defined piece, defined piece. If they want it more chunky, I would just go here, here, back comb this, and then feather up into the roots. And then you have this side where you're gonna grab the same thing. You're kind of, I'm not, by the way, when I'm grabbing, I'm not staying right here. I'm not staying just on the top. I'm not staying just on the top. Because what happens then is when their hair is down, now you just have right where their part falls, that's where they have the bleach. And imagine that I like to say, if you part your hair right here, not every single time are you gonna get it in the same spot. You might grab some hair that's over here. You might grab some hair that's over here. The general area is on this side. So I like to do my zigzag right there, and then go deeper of a weave, grab down a little bit deeper. See how I'm grabbing down further into this area? Same over here. I'm pulling right here, but I'm actually grabbing hair. Look, that's way over here. So that way when, when I go back and I straighten my part back out, some of the hairs that fall on that side are gonna come back over here, and it's gonna even my part back out. And what that does is you kind of get like a little bit of variation where the bleach is and where the highlights are. So that way, no matter where they part their hair, you're gonna have coverage. Because there have been times where I've gone to part someone's hair and I literally just grab the hair that's right here. Well, what happens if they come over here a little bit more? Now they don't have anything. So yeah, do a little bit more of a deeper part. Or like zigzag the part, and then do like a deep weave when you're foiling, and then that should help to make sure you have coverage no matter where their part falls. Sometimes I'll do that even if they have a part down the center of their head, just to make sure that I have coverage. Quick question, Cristiano. Asuma, you're gonna hate my answer. Quick, and if you'll notice, I can barely pronounce these because I don't watch. Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. Okay. I was gonna go with Cristiano only because I know that name. But because that's like the general public's awareness of football, soccer for the States, I'm going to go with Messi just because everybody else would probably say Cristiano. And if that makes you unhappy, then I change my answer and I go with Cristiano. All right, yeah, you're welcome. I hope that helps, and I hope that helps you with figuring out like doing some foiling or foliage or whatever. Being able to section the hair like that makes a big difference. Yeah, because let me tell you, there have been times where their part is like this, and I'll just go in right here, take a few little hairs, back comb it, and then they're like, oh, I'm blow drying their hair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, their part is falling. When you're foiling, you can't see where their part is unless you foil their hair and you start the foil exactly where their part is. Only then can you really know exactly where their part is falling. But if you're starting down here and you're clipping the hair back and you got your section up here, like you don't really remember and you can't really tell when you're foiling over the top of the head, where is their part gonna land at? So by doing like that zigzag parting, you can kind of ensure that you're grabbing hair in that general area. Just a little thing that I noticed that helps me. Oh, that's what happened to you. She parted it and she had no highlights on that one side. Yeah, that's why. Also, make sure, sometimes I'll do my subsections further apart on this side. Usually when I'm foiling and I'm coming up to these areas on a client, say their part is right here and I'm foiling up their head and I'm coming up to here. When I get right in this square inch area of where their part falls, I do thinner foils and less of a subsection. That way I can ensure wherever they part their hair in this area, they got coverage. So if you're doing, say you're going through and doing a foil and you do like 1/2 inch subsection throughout the whole foil, imagine if you're foiling over the top of the head and you're doing 1/2 inch subsections. Man, if that 1/2 inch, if you're foiling right here and then you're doing like a 1/2 inch subsection, you could skip out on this whole area where they part their head. So in this area where they part their hair, make sure that you're doing almost back-to-back foils or maybe just a little bit of a sliver of a section in between foils, but then also do finer weaves and less of a foil because you don't want to overdo it in that area too. Kira's asking, balayage, the technique itself is so hard. Yeah. In her opinion, balayage is a little bit harder and foliage is easier. I think it just depends on the client and their hair and what the overall look is that they're going for. If you have somebody that has brown hair and they just want to like add a little bit of soft dimension, I think balayage is great because, man, yeah, we can throw some bleach on your hair and just let it lift and see what it does and tone it and make it look good. But if it's somebody like my clientele, because I'm so meticulous and detail oriented, my clients that usually come to me want more of like a really bright, super detailed baby light blonde. And so I don't do a lot of like true open air balayage, but like if somebody came to me and they're like, I want a blonde balayage, like an actual balayage where you're painting it on the hair, I might say like, maybe you should go to someone else. Like I can give you the look that you're wanting without doing it as a balayage. But if you're just dead set on having it as open air balayage, there's other great gals in the area that I would happily recommend them to because we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and I'm not too proud to be like, yeah, that's not my area, open air balayage. I think some other people would do a good job. I think as hairstylists, we want to be a people pleaser and make everybody happy. And in doing that, we can kind of like cause problems for ourselves because we want to make the clients happy and we want to do it. But sometimes it's just better to say, I think somebody else could do a better job. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Oh, okay, Kira. Oh, go get your son to sleep. Is that what time it is? Is it already? I guess it is almost 7. All right, good night. Yeah, my son messaged me earlier because I've been waiting for him from football, but he went with a friend to Chipotle. So guess what? You get me for a little bit longer. Woohoo! Anyways, how is that for some fun random advice? Anything else out there? You're having an issue where salon clients are requesting a trim and they need to book a full haircut. Well, here's how I feel about that. A trim is a haircut. So if you have clients that are, I don't even have trim as an option. Remove that from your menu list. And you're a people pleaser and you can't say no. A haircut is a haircut. Like, if somebody's like, oh, I just want to trim, I don't have a problem with that. Because if we're just doing a trim and you're not doing layering, you're not refreshing the layers, the facial framing, if you truly just want a quick little snip off the length, yeah, we can do a trim. But some people, I don't know, haircut, I just talked about this on another live that I did. This is how I feel about haircuts. They're getting very expensive, and I think if whoever wants to charge whatever they want to charge for a haircut, do that. I personally charge $45 for a haircut, and I'm not gonna go over that. I do not ever see myself charging more than $45 for a haircut. Now, if somebody comes in and they have like extremely long hair and the style's gonna take a lot more for blow drying and styling and all that stuff, yeah, I might charge like $55 or something like that. But generally, I don't see myself going over $45 for a haircut. In the salon, okay. In the salon that you're at, a trim is supposed to be a quick dry cut that is 30 minutes. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say a quick trim is 30 minutes and it's a dry cut. I think that's okay. I'm in Washington State, and let me tell you, I'm in a really small farm town in Mount Vernon, Washington, an hour north of Seattle. And my haircuts were only ever $30. And I would knock it down to $20 to $25 if somebody was getting a color service, because I felt like I'm going to give you a discount because you're getting a color. And then I heard somebody say that Great Clips charges $45 for a haircut, and I almost shit my pants. And I thought, okay, I'm not doing $30 haircuts anymore. I'm doing $45. If Great Clips is charging $45 for a haircut, then surely I can charge $45 for a haircut. But there's a lot of people in my area that also charge $55, $65. There's somebody up in Bellingham. She charges a little over like $125 for a haircut. I think it's all personal preference, and I think that's great, whatever somebody wants to charge. But I know that my colors are already expensive. And so if somebody's already paying like $400 for a color, and then they're like, how much is it for a haircut? And I'm like, $50 to $100. They're like, no, I'm not spending an additional $50 to $100. So I've actually changed, $120 for a cut. I mean, like, get it. Like, that's totally cool. Like, that is not me. That's fine if anybody wants to charge that much, but it's not me. But I've changed my pricing structure around now because I don't want the client to feel like they're nickel and dimed. I don't want somebody to be like, oh, I need a haircut. How much is it? And then I'm like $45 or $30 or whatever. So I have my menus priced out now to be where everything's just included. My toning is included. My haircut or trim is included. Whether you do it or not, I'm not like taking the price down, whatever. Any conditioning treatments that I have are included. So my services are a little bit more, they're probably average really for the area. But they're a little bit more, but everything's just included. I don't like having to, you know, add like, okay, here's $45 here. What? And honestly, like, how long does a haircut really take you? 10 minutes if you're just doing a quick snip. Like, layers are just now starting to come back the last few years, but previous to that, it was basically just one length hair. A lot of people weren't doing a whole bunch of layering except for around the face. So like, why am I gonna charge a whole bunch just to like go around the perimeter, you know? Yeah. What if somebody needs to get a haircut, but they're like, oh, I can't afford that this time. But girl, you need to take off those 3 inches. They look really dry and bad, and it's also gonna make the color look a lot better. Like, are you gonna really want your client to walk out with jacked up ends that makes the color look worse because they don't want to pay the $45 or however much it is? Just include it in the service. It just takes the guesswork out. It just makes it easier to where now it's like, okay, how much is it? How much for a haircut? Oh, it's included. Okay, cool. The client probably feels like they're getting a little bit of a deal because now you don't have to upcharge them for it, you know, and every time they come in, they probably should get a little snip anyways. So that's just the way that I've been pricing my services, and I kind of like that. But yeah, as far as your salon where it's just, I think that's kind of a good way to go about it. $30 for a dry cut that takes 30 minutes. And like, what is it? Are they trying to talk you into washing the hair to where you feel bad and feel like you can't say no? Or like, are you even here listening still? I don't know. Am I talking? But like, I'm a people pleaser, but also I don't have a hard, I'm kind of done being nice and I'm kind of a bitch now. Okay, you're here still. You're having a problem because they want to take like 6 inches off. Well, wait, how are you sectioning your hair for? I feel like you would be sectioning the hair the same for 6 inches versus half an inch, right? So how come you feel like if they're taking more length off, you have not as much time? Because does that mean you're like taking half an inch at a time and working your way up more and more? Or like, how are you doing it to where you feel like you don't have as much time? Because a haircut is a haircut, no matter how much length, or a trim is a trim, no matter how much length you're taking off, because you're just go wherever the length is and cut it. You don't have to keep going back around. I am new. Is it not like that? I feel like I cut hair the same both ways. How are you cutting when you do your sectioning? And by the way, I don't section my hair when I do a haircut. I do not section my hair when I do haircut. I just have all the hair down. I take my comb and I just like snip the ends. Like, you don't, honestly, there's people that I watch that will go through and they'll do like inch section, pull it down, cut. Inch section, pull it down, cut. Inch section, pull it down, cut. You don't have to do all that. That's just like, that is like wasting so much time. Just like pull all the hair down. And if you have, sometimes you might have to like spray the very ends of the hair if they have thick hair. So it's not like cut super choppy, but just take all of the hair down in one section and cut it. You don't need to like be doing all these different layers. Yeah. That is what you do. You do the inch by inch and pull it down and cut and pull it down and cut. And that takes so much time. No, don't do that. I mean, do that if that's what you're comfortable with, but just go through and just pull it all down and just start your cut. Make sure that make sure that your clients are looking with their head down. That way it gets those underneath hairs. And then comb the hair when they put their head up and make sure that everything's nice and even. If you need to, you can take your texture shears or point cut into the ends just to make sure it's not super choppy looking. But yeah, that whole section and inch and down and cut. Honey, I do not have time for that. Yeah, if the hair is super thick, just pull it all down and just spray it. Just like the very like 2 inches of the very ends of the hair. Just spray it down really nicely. That way it's not so thick and you can get a better cut. But for real, don't waste your time with that. That's crazy. And if you're not, I mean, do what you're comfortable with. That's just what I do now, because another thing that I noticed, yeah, that takes too much time to like do your guide, pull the hair down, you're flipping the hair up, looking for the guide, snip. You're either going to have an uneven haircut or you're going to gradually go shorter and shorter a little at a time. Because if you're looking for the guide and you're trying to cut at the guide, chances are you're not cutting exactly on right level with the guide. Chances are you're cutting either right below the guide or right above the guide, even if it's just a centimeter or something like that. There's no way that you can fall just right at the guide to where you're not taking any extra length off. That's when you start getting all these different, like, even if it's just a sliver of a difference, all these different lengths. So yeah, I would wet the hair down and just do it all at once. You're going to be more even that way anyways. So just spritz it if it's super thick and cut. Yes. Okay, I'm going to chill with that then. Yes, chill with that. And you're welcome. It's hard because you're a guy and you have no experience with long hair and until like a year and a half ago. I get it, or get a mannequin. Go find a mannequin or go find one of your friends or somebody or go on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm doing a model call for a free haircut. And it's just a one length free haircut. We're not doing layers. We're not doing any of that stuff. I feel like I need a little bit more practice on just a standard haircut. Who needs a trim? Free. It's not like you have to, that doesn't come out of pocket because it's not cost of product or anything like that. Girl, this is so validating. I swear everyone who uses a guide actually cuts everything shorter than intended and it drives me insane. Yeah, it's true. I don't use a guide anymore because you just go right above or right below and then it's uneven or too short. And yeah, so just do a quick snip. And for Trolls Are Us, yeah, do a model call. That way you can get comfortable cutting hair. And the person that's coming in, they don't have to know that you're not uncomfortable. Just say like, oh, hey, I'm looking for a model. I have a new technique I want to try. I'm super excited to try out. Who wants to come in for a free haircut? You don't have to put it out there and be like, I'm afraid I'm going to fuck your hair up and I need to practice this on somebody. Like, you don't need to say that. Literally just make it sound like an exciting thing. Like, I'm so excited. I just learned this new haircut and I'm so excited and I want to practice this on like 3 people. Who wants to come in for a free haircut? I just am dying to like use this technique on more people. That's all you have to say. New technique, one length haircut. Hey, it's not the fact that it's a one length haircut. It's just the fact that I just learned this new way to cut hair more efficiently. And I just want to practice this on I just want to try this, not practice, eliminate that word practice it. We're not practicing it on anybody. Okay. I just learned this new technique for doing a more efficient one length haircut. Who wants to come in and so I can like sharpen my skills on it? That's a good one. Yeah. It is a new technique. It's not just a basic haircut. It's just a new technique. And I have three spots this week. Go on your Instagram stories. Just make it sound super exciting. I have 3 spots this week that I'm looking for people that just want a little trim or haircut or whatever, where we're just gonna take a little bit off the ends, one length, nothing special, nothing fancy, but I just learned this new technique and I'm excited to use it. I just wanna like sharpen my skills on it. So who wants to come in for a free trim? How many people don't want a free trim? How many people have gone 6 months or a year or more because they're like, I don't want to pay for a salon haircut? There you go. And guess what? If you F it up, who cares? Because it was free. You're not going to F it up, but the point is, you know, if it's not perfect, no one's going to be mad because, you know, they know this going into it. So true. Them girls wait a whole 2 years sometimes. Yeah, they do. I feel like it's harder to F up long haircuts. Don't be scared. That's right. Don't be scared. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to, and whatever it is, whether you're doing a color or a cut or something else or whatever, do a model call. You're welcome. Oh my gosh. Look at the support we have here. Our little circle of support. We're all friends here. Let me tell you something. There was a really pretty color that I just saw that guy Tang posted. It's kind of like a mauve color. I just posted a story and a post actually on Instagram, and I was like, I think this is such a pretty color. I'm doing a model call because I don't generally have clients that come in for this specific color that it is. Guy Tang just posted it recently. It's like a dark hair color. It's misty mauve. It's kind of like a purplish undertone to it. And I just think it's such a pretty color and I want to do it, but like that doesn't fall under my clientele very much. Like they're coming in for blonde. They're not coming in for misty mauve. Anyways, I just want to do it because for one, I think the content would be really good to record. I'm sure you guys would like it. So that's why I wanted to do the service so I could like record it. So I did a model call on Instagram and I was like, model call. And I showed a picture of what the color was. And I said, recommend or requirements, virgin hair, or you're wanting to tone down, and cost $100 just to cover the general cost of the products that I'm going to have to buy because I don't have the developer. I don't have like any of the colors that I have to use. So it is going to be costly to do it. So I put on there like a cost for $100 and somebody the post is still up. If you guys go look on there right now, like it's still there, but somebody commented on it. It was like, oh my God, a model call and you're asking them to pay you $100. And she kind of gave me a hard time about it. And she's like, that's kind of backwards. Like you're asking somebody to do something for you to help you out to do a model call and you're going to charge them. And I told her, I was like, honey, ain't nothing free around here. And second of all, like, this isn't like I need practice because I don't know how to color hair. This is just like, this is something fun that I want to do, that I want to like do a different color than I normally would because this isn't like what would fall under my clientele. But like, there's people that are happy to pay $100 for like a full service, a full color for something different than, you know, paying like $300 for what the color would have been. So don't let people be shitheads and come for you and tell you like, why are you doing a model call? Why are you, if it's a color, why are you charging a $50, $100 like fee to do this model call? Because the color costs money, that's why. I appreciate it for hair color, and that is so normal to ask for model call to cover costs. Yeah, it is. Like, why? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's totally fine to say, hey, we're going to do this. And, you know, there have been times where I'm like, oh, I want to do this color. Like, I want to, maybe in the past where I've been like, I want to, when ashy colors were first coming out, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to like, I don't know how to use, how to formulate an ash color, how to mix it, whatever. Like, I would do model calls. I don't think at that time I would charge for them because it truly was just, I was practicing. I was learning how to do it, how to formulate for it. So I didn't charge for it. But even at that point, like, we all generally know what we're doing. We're not going to like F somebody's hair up, like, where we're just brand, you know what I mean? Like, even if you are brand new, there's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, I'm doing a model call. You guys know I'm new to the industry. I want to do a model call. I just want a little bit of extra practice on this hair color to learn how to do it a little bit more. But I'm going to discount the service because, you know, I am going to be learning, but this is also a good deal for you. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Isn't that, I just saw the color and it's so dope. It is so pretty. It's a really pretty color. I actually went to the beauty supply store to go buy the color today and it was sold out and I was so sad. So hopefully they have it. They said they get it in stock on Tuesday. So I'm excited. I hope that I can get it because I'm excited to do that color. Hello, Panda Cham Crypto. Good day, Kristi from Malaysia. Hello, nice to see you. Happy to have you here. And trolls, I think I'm gonna ask my salon manager about something like that. I would love to have people in to practice different techniques. Your salon manager should be okay with that. I would think. First of all, let me say this. Any salon. Did I lose weight, girl? Do I look like a skinny bitch? Is that what you're saying? Panda Cham says, did you lost weight? Girl, if you think I lost weight, then yes, I did. Yes, ma'am. I'm looking, I just talked about this earlier. I am 43 now, okay? And if you guys want to go in the comment section and say, girl, I thought you were 33, you go right ahead and do that. I will take that. But as soon as summer hit, because it was so hot, I gained 20 pounds because my body was retaining water. I'm not kidding you. My face blew up. I looked like I had gained literally 40 pounds. Here's the thing. This past spring, I was going to the gym and working out and I had lost 40 pounds. But because you know how like when you lose weight, your fat cells never really go away. They just shrink down. So I think what happened is that because I had recently lost weight, I was retaining water and it was just like absorbing into the fat cells and puffing me back out to what I was, but just with water. Because I'm not kidding you, I had a girl. Oh, you're thinking I'm in the 20s? Woo! Watch out. Because I had just recently lost weight, I think the water was just like reabsorbing into the fat cells, except for just water. I was just super spongy. But yeah, my face was getting so puffy. Oh my gosh. I was there. It literally, I had a picture from when my son and I were here together. We took a picture together and then we went on a trip and it was like the first week of summer and like it was so hot too. And I literally, my face, my chin, I didn't have a jawline, I didn't have a chin. I was like, is that what I look like? And I put the two pictures, literally, it was like a 15-day difference between the two pictures and I looked like I had gained 50 pounds. Just from retaining water. This is what summer is now. Welcome to 40. And then guess what? As soon as September hit, I'm down like 15 pounds. Thank you, Jesus. I'm waiting for the rest of those 5 pounds. So have I lost weight? Over the year? Yeah, probably down 40 pounds. And also in the last week, yeah, because I've not retaining the water that I was previously retaining. And I'm so pretty. You're so pretty. Thank you. Do you know that we are going 95 minutes strong on this live? We are doing good. Non-stop customer support for doing foliage every day. That's how you lose weight. Man. Oh my gosh. Crystal says I have great energy and personality. Do you want to know what my personality type is? Anxiety. That's what and ADD also. That's what my personality type is. My doctor put me on anxiety medication and I realized that it just like leveled me out. I was hanging out with my friends and they're like, "You're just so calm." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I feel like I don't have any personality anymore." And I think it's because my anxiety medication was like toning me down. I'm not on my anxiety medication anymore. Maybe I should. I don't know. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Any anxiety energy, I don't claim you at all. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So I'm not really stressed out. I do have ADD. And sometimes I have outbursts because I'm kind of a little bit of a crackhead sometimes, which is fine. That's where my personality comes from. I appreciate it. Great energy, personality. It's called anxiety and ADD. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I'm doing a Subway diet, 3-inch subs, low fat, 600 calories, a sub, and you're getting ripped. Well, Herbert, I want to let you know that I can't do that because the older I get, the more I cannot have gluten. I cannot have a sandwich unless it's sourdough. I know that it's like the gluten is different in sourdough, but like sourdough doesn't bother me very much. Like if I have pizza, a sandwich, anything that has bread within a few minutes now, like my knee is starting to like sting or like it feels like shocks in my knee is what it feels like. If I have gluten, like my knees start bothering me and then my legs start bothering me. I just feel like I'm super achy and uncomfortable. So yeah, the longer I go without gluten, the more I feel like I just thought it was me being old. And I thought I was just getting old and like uncomfortable because I would like, when you work a lot and your back and your legs hurt and stuff, and then you're like rolling out of bed and you're like, "Oh, I can barely stand up." That's how I feel like on a daily basis. I didn't realize it was gluten until I had gotten really sick last year. And basically I had been fasting because I wasn't eating anything because I was sick, but I was feeling so good. Even though I was sick, I was feeling better than I had. And I think it's because I hadn't had any carbs or gluten or anything to make me feel that achy body feeling that I was having. So yeah, I realize now that I can't really have gluten. Just join the stream. I want to know, have I ever done a balayage in 2 hours and finished it perfectly? No, not this hairstylist. You want to know why? Because like we just talked about, I have anxiety. And so I am like too detail oriented to slap some color, some bleach on and just assume that it's going to look good. That couldn't be me. There's people that I watch out there. You have the OCD hairs where, I can't. Could I do the only way that I could ever do a balayage and be done in 2 hours is if they just want a partial and if they want it to be lived in. Because if they want it to be nice and bright and blonde and all this stuff, then that's too much fine work that you have to do to make sure everything is just perfect to get the perfect lift and all of that stuff. So yeah, if somebody wants to just do like a lived-in balayage, lived-in color or whatever, then yeah, we can slap that bad boy on and be done in 2 hours, but you're just getting a partial. Your boss asks you to do a 2-hour balayage. I've been brainstorming. How is that even possible? This is why your boss is asking you to do a 2-hour balayage. You know why? Is because the more clients that they are more quality over quantity. This is what happens when you work for a corporation or you're working for a commissioned salon. They don't want you taking 4 hours on one client and doing a good job because that is less money for them. They want you to get that bleach on, baby, and get those clients processing and out the door. And they probably also want you to get that color on and then start your next client while they're processing. It's because that way they get more money in their hands. They're not worried about quality of service. They're worried about getting more people in and making more money. So that's why your boss is asking you to do a 2-hour balayage. And if that's not the type of salon setting that you want to be in, you need to find somewhere else because that's not fair. They're going to continue to put pressure on you to hurry up and slap that workout, get your clients processing, hurry up and finish, get your next client in. I want you to be done in 2 hours. They're going to rush you. And then that's when your work doesn't look as good because somebody's telling you to hurry up and get it done within 2 hours. Do you know sometimes just applying the color, just to do it, I could take 4 hours on a foil easily. That's normal for me. I could easily take I only ever do like 2 clients a day. That's all I do. Maybe 3 or 4 if it's like super easy partial foils and a retouch or something like that. But if somebody's coming in for a foliage or a foil or whatever, I'm only doing 2 clients a day. So no, I don't like that. Ask your client, do I ever use plastic saran wrap with my balayage? If you're asking me, I don't do a balayage. Why do a balayage when I could do a foliage and insulate the hair and get a better lift and have more control? That's how I feel. I would much rather do a foliage than a balayage and get a better lift. So no, I don't ever do a standard balayage. My colleague has been blasting 9% to 12% on bleach. I can't put my heart to do that. I just talked about this earlier. I know you weren't here for that part of the conversation, but I only ever use 20 volume, especially on dark hair. Here's the thing on dark hair. Do you know sometimes the best lift that I get is with 10 volume? Because it is so slow and consistent that sometimes I just get the best lift. It just keeps going the processing power is slow, but it has stamina. So it processes for a long time and I end up getting a really good lift with it. And usually I do 20 volume. Like if you guys go look back at my, cupboard, all my stuff, you will know I don't have 40. I don't even have 40 volume. I have 30 volume. I probably had the same 30 volume for years because I rarely ever use it. I'm not big on, and you're from Malaysia, forgive me. I don't want this to come across as, I'm assuming that there's more people in that area with naturally very dark hair. Is that correct? Am I incorrect? So I feel like, I don't know, maybe 40 volume is good, but I just use 20 because I feel like maybe they have to process a little bit longer because I have a lot of Spanish clients that come in with really dark hair and I will just use 20 volume on them and I get a really good lift. But yeah, they do have to process for like, they'll process for like 2 hours. That's when I'm done with the foiling. Then they'll process for 2 hours. And I'll get really good lift. So once you watch Kristi, all her videos, I never do balayage anymore, just foliage. Oh, good. I'm glad because especially coming from the area that you're at, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of people probably have really dark hair there. And if you're doing open air balayage on really dark hair, if you're lucky, balayage open air will get 5 levels of lift. That's gonna say you are at between levels 1, 2, 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna land at level 7 or 8. That's orange. That's underlying orange pigment. That means your client's gonna be brassy if you're doing open air. And that's why I do foliage, because you can get a better lift. Yes, I'm right. We have extremely dark hair, and we use silicone-based shampoo and do homemade coconut oil treatments after 3 hours. You still get level 7. That's why they blast 9%. Yeah, but if hopefully you're getting better results if you're using foil and insulating that heat, or insulating the hair to get more heat, so that way you can get better lift. Another thing is too, when I'm foiling a client that has really dark hair, I'm literally taking a sliver amount of a section. Let me show you. I'm just setting you down for a minute. Do you see how thin of a section this is? I mean, that might be even too thick. You can see through the hair. That's how thin of a section I do. But guess what? My clients can go from level 1 to 10 in one sitting because they want a really bright white blonde hair color. They're not brassy. They're not left at a level 7 or 8. They're nice and bright because you foil. It might take 4 hours to foil a client. They're going to be blonde though. Kristi, my boss is going to fire me if you take that small of a section. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You have the dark hair. Asians have a lot of hair. Asians have a lot of hair. Mexicans have a lot of hair. A lot of my Mexican clients, that section that I just showed you, that's how small of a section I take on my Spanish clients. That's how small of a section that I take. Here's the thing. You have to charge accordingly. There's no way that I might have a partial foil and she'll take me 5 hours to do. Just because I have to take such small sections. And then she has to process for like 2 hours. So it will take me 5 hours to do a partial foil. I'll charge her like, $400 or whatever for a partial foil. But it's because it takes so long for her to lift. You're not gonna lie, balayage here is only less than $100. You need to tell your clients, like, talk to your manager. Say, look, I know that you want me to do more colors, but if my clients are coming in and they want to be bright blonde, I have to have more time. I can't foil, like, if you're foiling hair and your sections look like this, if that's how thick of a section you're taking for a foil, that's too thick. That's why you're brassy. You do quantity over quality. That's what I'm saying. Favorite toner for cool. This is kind of what we talked about earlier with like Paul Mitchell versus Agora Vibrance. If you use Agora Vibrance, especially on dark hair, that will cool any, like go to my Instagram, Modern Blonde by Kristi. And I have a lot of clients that have dark hair and you'll see that I can lift them really light and then they have a really cool blonde. So it's possible. You just you have to be patient and you have to foil it the right way. You have to take your time. Go look on my, I have quite a few clients that I've done. I need to make a playlist on my my YouTube that's specifically for, I might already, for dark hair. If you go on my playlist, I might have dark hair foils. Maybe I need to make a playlist specifically for dark hair going blonde. But I have quite a few videos on there already that you can see, like, I mean, you can see through to the foil because that's how thin of a section I'm taking. Favorite toners for 951. Honestly, if you do just 9-1, say I'm doing a really dark a client that has really dark hair. And they have lifted, they probably have a lot of like yellow in their hair still. If I tone with 9-1 and add just a little drop of 811, they will be super icy. That 811 is like super cool. And you just need a little drop of it in that level 9 to cancel out any like orangier tones. And that will get you a really pretty like icy, cool blonde color on dark hair. And it does not lift the base. That's what I like about it, is that it's deposit only. It doesn't lift the base. What kind of highlights do I do for hair that has lots of layers on? I mean, it depends on what they want. If they're wanting a full foil, or do they just want a partial, or do they just want like a foliage? It all depends on what they want, or how much money do they what's their budget for the service, and what are they wanting to get done. But if somebody's doing a partial, a lot of people do a partial where they'll do like from here all the way around the head. They'll call that a partial foil. I call that a top foil. That is a top half of the head foil. A partial foil to me is just coming in right here, doing 1, 2, 3 foils on both sides, coming in, doing the hairline, and then maybe, depending on how they want the hair, but maybe I'll do just down the mohawk section and maybe come back here a little bit to make sure that it covers the cowlick area. That's what I do for a partial. And maybe I'll throw in, so we're doing the mohawk section, and then maybe I'll do just like 1 or 2 foils right there. That's my partial. Or if they want it to be blended instead of streaky, again, I'll do like the 1, 2 or 3 foils here. Right? Foils right in here. And then depending on where they part their hair, say their hair is parted in the middle, you know, whatever. I'm just coming in right here and I'm doing my foils this way. Right here. This way. My partials only ever consist of this top section of the hair. You can do a partial foil. If somebody comes in and they do a foil from above the ears, you're only leaving out the nape of the neck. That is way too much work. You could pack in so many foils there and just call it a partial. That's crazy. No. That is Kathleen. Hello. Happy to see you here. Says, that is when I take my mannequin heads out and start playing. For for a foil placement or for toning, or what are we playing with our mannequin for? I'm drinking my coffee that I got way earlier today. I am not going to bed tonight. But I'll be all ready for church in the morning. Yeah, less than 15 foil. I mean, sometimes it's more than 15 foils, but yeah. I mean, keep it simple. Foiling, Kathleen says for foiling and balayage. Yeah. Yeah, practice your placements. Get a mannequin and just have fun practicing your placements. Clients want a lot right now. You know, they want to complain. People, not all clients, but some clients complain about the cost of stuff. And it's not like they're just getting... Here. If a client truly just wanted a partial foil, call it a standard foil from the way foiling was 20 years ago. If somebody just wanted that kind of foil, sure, let's do that. Let's do that for $150. And we're not going to do any of the fine detail work around here for the hairline. You're not going to have a pretty money piece. We're just going to go through and slap our foils up the side, slap them here, down here. You're going to have the standard stripiness, whatever. And then we're just going to tone it with some 10V because that's what we had 10 years ago. Or purple shampoo. But that's not the way that clients want to do their hair anymore. They don't want just a standard foil. Do you know that sometimes when I'm doing my highlights, it will take me 45 minutes to an hour just to go through and do my foiling around the detail work that I need to do around the hairline to make sure that they have a pretty blend and a money piece if they want it. And then I'm back combing it and then painting through the ends here so that it blends really nicely, and back comb at the root. And then it gets brighter gradually through the money piece. That can take me an hour sometimes. Can I just do normal foils and then tone it at the top darker to make a balayage look? Would you do that? I would still go through and do my foliage. If I was doing a balayage, I would still do my placement the same. And I don't like doing a root shadow. I don't always like doing a root shadow because here's the thing. You're going through and you're bleaching the hair from scalp to ends. But the client wants it rooty. So now you have to go through and do a root shadow to darken it right here. That's going to fade. And then it's going to turn brassy. And then when they come back, they're going to have this warm, brassy midsection right here. And then you're going to have to go back through and bleach it to get it bright again. And then you're going to go through and do the whole thing again. So I don't like doing that. I don't like having to do root shadow, not to mention the fact that it's going to fade out. But when you go back through and re-bleach it, you're possibly going to cause damage because now you're over processing the hair from having to bleach that color out on top of highlights that you just bleached last time. So I don't necessarily like doing a root shadow unless I absolutely have to. Instead, I like to back comb the hair or do the air touch technique. That way you're blowing out or back combing those baby hairs. And then when you're done with the service and brush everything back down, it kind of has a natural blend on its own without having to do a root shadow. Told us in that video it would be a lot. Yeah, it is a lot of work in the future. That's why I don't like doing it. Kathleen, I'm sorry for whatever reason. It says that the message is restricted. Can you root shadow with no color and just bleach? Well, that's how I would do my root shadow. I would try to foil in a way that it leaves a natural root shadow without having to go through and add one. And that would be, you know, backcombing the hair. And, you know, if you backcomb the hair, then you create more of a shadow, a little cushion at the root. So then when everything brushes out, you kind of have this dark hair that's coming back through the foils, breaking the foils up. So it kind of creates a natural root shadow. And then you can foil in a way where it's kind of like a teardrop shape, to where you're foiling closer up to the scalp in this area. But as you foil, as you're working your way around the head, you're not bringing the bleach up as high in this area. That way you kind of leave a little bit of the depth in that area. So yeah, you could foil with just bleach and just foil, you know, in a strategic way to where you leave a root shadow without having to actually apply one. So back to what I was saying though, for clients that if they just wanted like a standard foil, then yeah, we could do that and just charge $150. But clients want the detail work around the face, the money piece. They want to tone it, and then they want to color melt because they want a darker root, and then they want to blend it into some brighter ends. So then you got to go through and do a whole nother root highlight or or a whole other color application to do the overall lightest color first, but then you got to go back through and do the root to blend the roots out and stuff. So then it's like, it's just, nothing is a simple color anymore. And that's why colors are now $250, $300, $500, $600, depending on how full of a foil they want, how much length they have, and all of that stuff. What toner did I put on my hair? Well, I haven't colored my hair since April, so you can see that it's faded out quite a bit. But I usually do like anything that's like a level 9, like soft copper tone on my hair for my lightest blonde color. And it's just faded out, and this is just like the color stain that it is now. But that's how I usually tone my hair, to be like more of a copper tone. And thanks, Kristi, for the talk. Gonna go to work now. It's 10:35. Can I just complain? I need you to make some more videos. Same technique, different customer. Hey, I'm working on it. I appreciate that. Light a fire under my ass. I know. I've been gone for a while. That's why I've been back on doing my lives for a little bit more, because I know I need to come back and start pushing more videos out. I apologize. If you haven't seen, the Lord blessed me with my own salon, and I needed that so that I could come here and I couldn't do this before. Where I was working, I couldn't ever come here and do lives. So I'm thankful now that I have my own space to do lives, connect with you guys a lot more, and then also to start pushing out more content. I just recorded a video cutting my own facial framing earlier today. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to get back on the schedule of doing some more stuff for you guys. And hey, I hope you have a great day at work today, Panda Cham, and tell your boss that you're not doing 2-hour colors. We want quality over quantity, but she just wants to make money off of you and higher commission. That's why she wants more people in your chair. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a good day. Is rent expensive? I think it varies depending on where you're at. I feel like I'm pretty standard where I'm at. So to rent a chair for me for part-time is $650, full-time $900. There's places that I've seen that are $950 for part-time, full-time $1,500, which that seems crazy to me. And I know yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna say anything. But anyways, bye, Panda Cham. Thanks for watching. So yeah, that's kind of where I feel like I'm kind of the standard. I know other places that charge less that are maybe 400 for part-time and 600 for full-time. So that's just the area that I'm at. I don't know. I'm in Mount Vernon, Washington, which is an hour north of Seattle. So I'm just like a little farm town. So that's kind of the going rate where I'm at. That's for the month. That's for the month. Yeah, I've seen those salon suites where it's like $1,200 for a week or something. I don't know. Like that's the Sola salons. Is that what they're called? Those things are crazy, dude. That's crazy. Kristi, do you have any Asian salons there? I'm gonna open a cheap foliage so when we F it up, you can fix it. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. No crappy work here. I know you can do it. I have all the faith in you in the world. So yeah, I just charge monthly. That way it's just easy. But yeah, I do know some of those suites charge weekly, which I can't believe how expensive it is. It just seems really expensive and I wouldn't want to do that. I'm shocked my son hasn't called me. Yes, thank you. Technically, you won't mess it up when you learn from me. That's the goal. Excuse me. That's the goal. Hoping you don't mess any clients up. All right. We're going on almost an hour and a half, beyond an hour and a half. I think I'm going to call it quits because my throat, I'm getting over being sick. Okay, bye, Panda Champ. Thanks again for hanging out for so long. I'm about to wrap it up too because I got to get going too. May the Lord bless you. Thank you. I'm getting over being sick and I keep coughing because my throat is dry. So, have such a hard, okay, here's another question. Have such a hard time booking clients after a balayage or foil. I take 3.5 hours, but people book online and it makes it tough. I take a long time on my clients too. Oh, Mount Mommy, you're still here. Thanks for hanging out for so long. Holy cow. I take standard. That's about how long I take for my clients too. And I don't like people booking online because, yeah, I like to have more control over my books. So if I were you, if you have online booking as an option, I just feel like anytime somebody books online, I always reach out to them immediately and I just say, hey, it's Kristi. I just saw that you booked an appointment with me online. I'm so excited for your appointment. I'm looking forward to it, but could you give me an idea of what it is that you're looking for? Just so I have an idea, I want to make sure that I'm prepared. I always ask people, send me a picture of what your hair looks like. Send me pictures of what you're wanting. That way I have an idea of how much time we need. There's not a new client that I do not talk to. I always have a message, whether it's on Instagram or I text them. I 100% of the time always reach out to them, even if they book online first. That way I have an idea what I need to do. So if that makes it harder for you, that you don't know what they're going to book for, reach out to them and just talk to them and ask them what their goals are. And if you need to adjust their service time or the service that they asked for, just add more time or whatever. That's what I do. Thank you, Susan. I'm getting better, but it's just lingering. Well, you're welcome, Kathleen. All right, I'm gonna head out, you guys, because I need to blow my nose, and I'm not gonna be discussing and do that on live with you guys. So, thank you so much for watching the video or being live with me. I appreciate it. Like I always say, you guys are such a blessing to me. I thank Jesus all the time for you guys because I'm thankful for every single one of you. I pray the Lord blesses you and every person that comes and sits in your chair, that you do amazing work, and thank the Lord for all the creations that he has given us to make people feel beautiful. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for so long. Honestly, it means the world. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.